Welcome, baseball fans. Today, we take a moment to reflect on a man who has worn many hats in the game: player, mentor, leader, and icon of composure. A man whose story runs deeper than the diamond, built on patience, respect, and a lifelong belief in doing things the right way. This is the story of Dave Roberts, a man who embodies calm under pressure, perseverance in the face of doubt, and a quiet yet powerful legacy in Major League Baseball that stretches across generations. Born in Naha, Okinawa, Japan in 1972, David Ray Roberts came into the world in a setting as unique as the man himself. The son of a Japanese mother and an African-American father, Roberts grew up navigating two worlds that didn't often intersect in American sports culture at the time. His father, a Marine, and his mother, a pillar of discipline and warmth, instilled in him a sense of balance and pride in both sides of his identity. That background gave Roberts something invaluable: resilience and perspective. He learned early that fitting in wasn't as important as staying true to who you are. When the family eventually settled in California, baseball became young Dave's sanctuary. The field was where he found freedom, joy, and identity. He wasn't the biggest, nor the strongest, but he was relentless. His game was built on speed, instinct, and intelligence. Every stolen base, every sharp read off the bat, every hustle down the line came from an understanding that effort was his greatest weapon. After high school, Roberts continued to chase his dream through the college circuit. He played for UCLA, where his speed and awareness set him apart. Still, despite his standout performances, professional scouts saw him as undersized, the kind of player who might run well but lacked the typical power or arm strength that front offices prioritized. But Roberts never let those perceptions define him. He believed in something greater than numbers: heart, consistency, and readiness. When the Cleveland Indians drafted him in 1994, it was the start of a long and winding journey through the major leagues. Roberts' early years were not glamorous. He spent time grinding through the minors, enduring setbacks, and proving himself at every level. But when he finally got his chance in the big leagues, he made every inning count. Whether he was in Cleveland, Los Angeles, Boston, or San Diego, one thing never changed: his ability to change the energy of a game with one swing, one sprint, one play that flipped momentum. But of course, the defining moment of Dave Roberts' playing career came in October 2004, a night etched into baseball history. Game 4 of the American League Championship Series, Red Sox versus Yankees. Boston was down 3-0, a deficit no team had ever overcome. Facing elimination, they needed something: a spark, a miracle, a heartbeat. Roberts, who had barely played that postseason, found himself called upon as a pinch runner in the 9th inning. Mariano Rivera, the greatest closer in history, stood on the mound. Everyone in the stadium knew what was coming. Roberts was going to try to steal second base. If he was thrown out, the Red Sox season was over. The tension was unbearable. Rivera threw once, twice, 3 times to first, trying to keep Roberts close. But on that 4th pitch, Roberts broke for second. He exploded off the bag with every ounce of speed he had. The throw came. It was close, but he just beat it. Safe. Fenway Park erupted. The momentum shifted in an instant. Moments later, Bill Mueller singled him home, tying the game. The Red Sox went on to win that game, that series, and eventually their first World Series championship in 86 years. That steal wasn't just a play, it was destiny. It was the moment that symbolized resilience, belief, and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. It's the kind of play that transcends sports, a reminder that even the smallest moments, when approached with absolute conviction, can change everything. For Roberts, though, that moment didn't define him, it reflected him. His career was full of quiet contributions, the kind that don't always make headlines, but make teams better. After Boston, he continued his journey through San Diego and San Francisco, eventually retiring in 2008. But the fire to compete, to teach, to lead, that never left him. After hanging up his cleats, Roberts turned to coaching, and it didn't take long for people to recognize his gift for leadership. He wasn't just knowledgeable, he was steady. He had the rare ability to connect with players on a personal level, to make them feel seen, respected, and understood. His empathy came from experience, from knowing what it was like to fight for opportunity and to succeed through perseverance rather than privilege. In 2016, Roberts was hired as the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, becoming the first person of Asian heritage to manage in Major League Baseball and one of only a few black managers in the sport's long history. From day one, his presence was transformative. He brought structure without rigidity, intensity without ego. Under his leadership, the Dodgers became one of the most consistent franchises in baseball, a team defined by culture as much as talent. Over the next several years, Roberts led the Dodgers to multiple National League West titles, consistent postseason appearances, and ultimately, the long-awaited World Series championship in 2020, their first since 1988. That victory meant more than just a trophy. It was validation. It was the culmination of years of trust, discipline, and belief. Roberts had guided his team and his city through the turbulence of a pandemic, uncertainty, and pressure, all with the same calm he'd shown as a player. What separates Dave Roberts from many of his peers is his ability to lead without shouting. He doesn't rely on intimidation or theatrics. He listens. He connects. He leads by example. In an era where analytics and emotion sometimes clash, Roberts has found a rare balance, embracing modern strategy while never losing the human element. His dugout feels like a family, and his players respond to that. But beyond baseball, Roberts' story also carries weight in the conversation about representation. As a biracial man in a sport that hasn't always been inclusive, his success has opened doors for others. He carries himself with dignity, never forgetting what it means to those who look at him and see possibility. His story isn't just about wins and losses. It's about identity, opportunity, and pride. Every time Roberts steps into the dugout, he carries a quiet reminder of his journey, from Okinawa to California, from bench player to championship manager. His career stands as a testament to the value of patience and persistence. He's shown that greatness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's steady, humble, and consistent. Sometimes it's a stolen base that changes a franchise, and sometimes it's a decision in the ninth inning that defines a decade. Even today, Dave Roberts remains one of baseball's most respected figures. His leadership continues to shape the Dodgers' culture, built on accountability, respect, and unity. He doesn't measure success solely by rings, but by relationships, by the growth of his players, and by the integrity with which he carries the game forward. He's a manager who understands that while talent wins games, trust builds dynasties. When the history of baseball is told decades from now, Dave Roberts will be remembered not just as the man who stole second base or the manager who led the Dodgers back to glory, but as someone who honored the game. Someone who showed that grace and grit can coexist, that empathy and excellence can thrive together, and that leadership is about elevating those around you. Dave Roberts' journey reminds us that legacy isn't about the spotlight. It's about the standard you set when no one's watching. It's about effort, integrity, and staying grounded no matter how high you rise. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this tribute to Dave Roberts, a story of courage, composure, and championship leadership, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories about the people who elevate the game and remind us what true greatness looks like.